this is lesson 2 of decimals, and it's about rounding decimals, which is essentially taking a decimal which has got a number of decimal places and approximating the answer by cutting off some of the decimal places. And this method works whether it's rounding to a whole number, to 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, or 3 decimal places. Okay, there's a big description here, which you can read if you want to, or you can follow my explanation as I go here to see how you go. So this is essentially what we do. It says the following decimal numbers need to be rounded to 2 decimal places. Draw a line where the number must be cut, and then circle the critical digit. Well, I'm just going to go a bit further than that, and I'm going to actually round this to 2 decimal places. So I'm just going to write this out a little bit bigger and spaced out so we can see our number. So it's 23.539 and 8. Now our method is we draw a line. Now you can be an imaginary line once you get used to it, but we're going to draw a line now at the point where we want to cut our decimal, and that is 2 decimal places. So we're going to put a line through here like this. Okay, and what we need to look at now is the critical digit, which is the next digit after our cut. So this is our critical digit here, which is a 9. Now this is our rule. If our critical digit, and it's written here, is less than 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you round down. What does that mean? It just basically means that we would cut the decimal off at that particular point there, 23.53 was our answer. Okay, that's if the critical digit was a 0, a 1, 2, 3, or 4. If the critical digit is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then you have to round up, which means you have to add 1 to the 3. So in this case here, 23.5398 would become 23.54. Okay, that's this number rounded to 2 decimal places. Let's see the process again. So again, 2 decimal places. So we go 1.75137. We put the cut. Sometimes I put my hands over the numbers that I'm not interested in, but a cut's fine. Okay, so put a line here, like this. So our number's going to have 2 numbers after the decimal place. We'll look at our critical number. Critical digit is this one here. It's a 1. Okay, so it belongs to here. It's less than 5. So it means you round down. So when we round down, is we basically just remove this decimal part. So our answer is going to be 1.75. Alright, example 2, we're just going to practice what we've done, what I showed you in the previous example. So it says round each of these following to 1 decimal place. So I'm going to write this number out again, 25.682. Now I'm going to put the cut after the decimal place that we want. We want 1 decimal place, so I'm going to put a line here. Remember, if it's a 5 or more, then we're going to add 1 to the 6. It's an 8. Okay, you can circle it if you want to. It's an 8, so that means we're going to add 1 to the 6, so our answer is going to be 25.7. Alright, let's write this one down. 13.5458. We want 1 decimal place, so we put our cut in after the 5. Our critical digit is 4. So that means because it's 4, It's not a 5, 6, 7 or 8. So that means we cut it off or we round down. So we just cut off the rest of the decimal places. So our answer is 13.5. Alright. Second part of this question, round each of the following to the specified number of places. So the first question is rounding this number to 3 decimal places. So if I can squeeze that in there, I'm going to write 18.34728, and I want it to 3 decimal places, so I count 3 decimal places. I put my line 1, 2, 3. I put my line here. 2 is my critical number or digit. 2 is less than 5, so we round down. So my answer is going to be 18.347. Next number. This has no whole number part, but it doesn't matter. We can still round it the same way. We've got 0.43917. And we want it to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to find my 2 decimal places. I'm going to cut my line. I cut. I'm going to circle the critical digit. It's a 9. Because it's more than 5, I'm going to add 1 to the 3. So my answer is going to be 0.44. And the last question, round this digit here, this number here, to 3 decimal places. So let's write it out. 7.59967 to 3 decimal places. Let's count 3 numbers. 1, 2, 3. This is a good one. This is very clever. So you need to watch this one carefully. So there's my cut because of my 3 decimal places. I circle my critical digit. Now look what happens with this one. 6 is more than 5, so we have to add 1 to the 9. But look what happens when we add 1 to the 9. It becomes a 10, which means we're going to have to add 1 to the 9 here, which again becomes a 10, which means we have to add 1 to the 5. Okay? So if we add 1 to each of these, we're going to end up with a 7.600. Now, you have to add these zeros in. They are important because the question is saying to 3 decimal places. So that means the 2 zeros have to be included in the answer. We can't write 7.6. That is incorrect because it's at 1 decimal place. Only 1. But here we have to have 3 numbers. 1, 2, 3. And that is the correct answer. Just be careful of those ones.